Hi, my name is Jeff Ding, and I'm going to be doing a Pecha Kucha on internet feedback. And so here I really want to analyze what kind of feedback people give on sites and how much feedback they give. And so this can depend on many different things. And so different sites give you different ways to do feedback. And so an example of feedback might be liking something on Facebook or sharing something on Facebook. And on YouTube, you might like a video or dislike a video. So here we see 5 different sites. I already mentioned 2 of them, but on Instagram, you might like or comment on a photo. On Reddit, you might upvote a comment, disvote a comment, or you might upvote a post or downvote a post. On Twitter, you might actually reply to somebody, or you might retweet somebody's tweet. So these are all just kind of examples of how you might give feedback. 2 examples of how feedback is affected is site structure and site content. Here we see a major content change in November of 2013 on YouTube. So people are kind of just posting this comment because they were kind of angry about how they changed the site. So we see this comment being affected by how the site is laid out. The other way that feedback can be affected is the actual content that goes on the site. So anything on the internet can kind of be categorized as fun, fact, or news, or almost anything in between there. But for now, we're just kind of focusing on the fact part of things to kind of keep one common ground between the analysis of many different posts. What we see here is a Minute Earth video on YouTube. So they have over 900,000 subscribers, over 2.7 million views, 25,000 likes, and 8,000 comments. And so Minute Earth is kind of like a sciencey short video that educates people on how the Earth works, basically. And so here we have a different video from the channel called Numberphile, and basically this is kind of a math channel. They have a little more subscribers, they have more views on the video, they have more likes on the video, they actually have twice as many comments. So certain facts are coming into play when these numbers are being generated, as this video has twice as many comments as the previous one. Here we see a Reddit page called Science, and Reddit has subreddits where posts relating to science, in this case, are posted under one web page, and they have over 6 million readers, which is kind of like subscribers, and each post here that's posted to the science subreddit has a net upvote and downvote scale, and so that's the number that you actually see on the left side of each post. Here's a similar site called Today I Learned, also a sciencey or a science factual type site, or subreddit, I'm sorry, and they have over 6 million subscribers, and each post has several thousand votes, as you might expect from a very popular subreddit. Here's a Facebook post from the Facebook page Did You Know? They have over 3 million likes, and they have over 80,000 likes on that particular post and over 4,000 shares. But the interesting thing about Facebook is that there's not that many comments, but each comment has a large amount of likes compared to different sites. So here we see YouTube has 2.9% likes from their subscribers, Facebook has 2.4%, and Reddit has 0.63. But it's important to note that Reddit actually kind of buries the post after a certain amount of time because they use an algorithm to make the posts get lower down in the scale, so people might not be able to see them as often. We see the 3 different types of feedback mechanism that the site lays out. YouTube has numbers for everything. Reddit only has a net sum of how many people upvote and downvote, and Facebook has only how many people like it because they don't have a dislike button. It also shows how many shares there were, encouraging people to share it. On YouTube, the site layout is that you can see the top comment, you can see how many likes or dislikes each comment has, or rather a net sum of how many dislikes and likes each has, and it collapses most of the comments and comment replies into a stack, and you can see the last 2, so you can kind of reply and you can be interested in the conversation if you want to. Reddit has a cascading kind of comment effect, so you can see every single reply, and there's not really a way to collapse them all unless you just skip all of them and ignore all the comments. So this kind of fosters more conversation because you can just see the conversation as you're scrolling down, and there's really no way to hide the intermediate responses. So here we kind of compare the 3 different comment boxes. They're all the comments on each site is sorted by top comment, which is kind of like the popular thing. But note that Facebook has the smallest comment box, so that might actually contribute to Facebook having the least amount of comments compared to the other sites. Reddit here has a comment upvote system and downvote system similar to the posts, and so you can actually see the amount of points that people have for each comment. And this is also a sum of likes and dislikes. They have much more individual comment feedback than, say, YouTube, but sometimes less than Facebook. And so here we see that how content really affects the post, because here we see a cat picture instead of a scientific factual type content. And so we see one-liner witty comments instead of lots of line paragraph type discussions going on. On Facebook, we see the similar thing, except Facebook is a much more relaxed environment, even with the scientific post, because people kind of post unrelated comments. But in addition to that, Facebook actually has a feature to post photos, so people might actually post witty photos and get a lot of likes on their comments. So that's just kind of a different example. But here we also see a Facebook official post, and we see that this official page has a huge amount of likes, over 164 million, almost 165 million, but their posts only have 283,000 likes and 17,000 shares. And so we can analyze how many comments they have and how many likes they have to see how that content affects how much feedback people give. And so comparing that with the amount of subscribers, we see that the Did You Know page is much more lax, with 2.4% of the subscribers liking it, and the Facebook official page only has 0.17%. So that's a huge difference between those two pages, and it's only due to the content that people get. Another thing that might affect how much feedback that a certain post might get is the privacy settings. So here we see that the person didn't really expect it to go to the public, and so they kind of limited their commenting and liking space to only their friends, and so that's why you have 136,000 shares and only 10 likes and 9 comments, and so that kind of affects how much feedback people give as well. So this is my presentation on internet feedback, and thank you for your time.